Hey everyone, welcome back to TA Coffee Talks. It's Troy here. Today we're diving into something super mysterious, dripping with history, the Roman Catholic Church's wild ride after Pope Francis passed away on April 21st, 2025. The Church is now in this phase called Sede Vacante, which is Latin for the seat is vacant. Sounds dramatic, right? It's like the Vatican hits pause and the whole world, over 1 billion Catholics included, holds its breath, waiting for a new pope to step up. This process is packed with ancient rituals, secret meetings, and some serious power plays. We're going to unpack it all, sprinkle in some juicy facts, and make it fun. Let's get rolling. All right, let's set the stage. On April 21st, 2025, Pope Francis, one of the most iconic popes ever, passed away. This guy was a rock star, lived humbly, ditched the fancy papal palace for a simple guest house, and was all about saving the planet, helping migrants, and fighting poverty. A real people's pope. When he died, the world went nuts. St. Peter's Square in Vatican City was packed with mourners, and news channels were on 24/7, covering every tear and prayer. So, what happens when a pope dies? That's where things get spicy. The Church enters this Sede Vacante period. Think of it like a giant corporation without a CEO. The College of Cardinals, a group of high-ranking church officials, steps in to keep things running, but their power's super limited. They're basically just holding down the fort until a new pope is chosen. Oh, and speaking of Sede Vacante, here's a little tidbit. The terms straight-up Latin, used every time a pope dies or, in rare cases, bails. Rewind to 2013. Pope Benedict XVI stunned everyone by resigning, the first pope to quit in 600 years. That kicked off a Sede Vacante too. Talk about shaking up the Vatican. Now here comes the main event, picking the new pope. This happens in something called a conclave, from the Latin cum clave, meaning with a key. Why? Because the cardinals who vote get locked inside the Vatican's Sistine Chapel until they pick a winner. No phones, no Wi-Fi, no sneaking out for pizza. The Vatican's planning this conclave for some time between May 6th and May 12th, 2025, right in the Sistine Chapel. You know the place. Michelangelo's jaw-dropping creation of Adam and Last Judgment murals are all over the walls. Picture this, 135 cardinals in their red robes, sitting under these epic frescoes, deciding the future of the Catholic Church. Cinematic, right? By the way, the Sistine Chapel isn't just some random venue. It's been the go-to spot for papal elections since the 15th century, oozing symbolism and authority. To keep things top secret, they sweep the place for bugs. Electronic ones, not the creepy crawly kind, and even jam signals. The security's tighter than a CIA black site. So, who's got the keys to this papal election? The cardinals, but only those under 80 years old can vote. In 2025, there are 135 eligible voters called cardinal electors. These guys come from all over, Italy, the US, Africa, Asia, like a global VIP club. Here's the kicker. About 80% of these cardinals were appointed by Pope Francis. That means the new pope might lean toward Francis's vibe, progressive, socially conscious, maybe a bit less traditional. But don't think it's a done deal. Behind the scenes, it's a chess game. Some cardinals want a conservative pope, others push for a reformer, and a few are whispering, hey, how about a non-European pope for a change? Oh, and here's something wild. For centuries, popes were almost always Italian. Then, in 1978, John Paul II from Poland broke the mold. Fast forward to 2013, Francis became the first pope from South America, Argentina, baby. So could 2025 bring another first? An African or Asian pope? The possibilities are endless. Let's break down how this conclave works. Once it kicks off, the cardinals are locked in the Vatican, staying at a guest house called Domus Sanctae Marthae. Every day they shuffle to the Sistine Chapel for voting, up to 4 rounds a day. It's all super secretive. Each cardinal writes their pick on a ballot, folds it, and drops it into a fancy urn. No hanging chads here. To win, a candidate needs 2/3 of the votes, at least 90 out of 135. If no one gets there, the ballots are burned with a chemical that makes black smoke pour out of the chapel's chimney, telling the world, nope, try again. But when a pope is finally chosen, they burn the ballots with a different chemical, sending white smoke into the sky, and the crowd goes wild. And get this, the black and white smoke tradition goes back ages, but it used to be a total mess. The smoke colors would get all muddy, leaving people outside squinting like, is that gray? The Vatican finally perfected the chemical mix, so now the smoke's crystal clear. Plus, that chimney cam, it's basically the Vatican's Super Bowl, live streamed to the world. When that white smoke rises, St. Peter's Square erupts. Bells ring, people cheer, and every news outlet zooms in on the Vatican. Soon after, the new pope steps onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica for his big debut, waving to the crowd and giving his first blessing. He'll also announce his papal name, maybe John 24 or Francis II, usually a nod to a past pope or a hint at his mission. Before that, though, there's a wild moment. The new pope is whisked to a tiny room called the Room of Tears to slip into his white papal robes. Why the tears? Because getting picked as pope is overwhelming. Honor, sure, but also a crazy heavy burden. Some popes reportedly bawl their eyes out in there. Here's a cool detail. Those white robes come in 3 sizes, small, medium, large, because no one knows who's getting the gig. Tailors are on standby for last-minute tweaks. Oh, and the Pope gets a gold ring called the Fisherman's Ring, symbolizing his role as the successor to St. Peter, Jesus' OG fisherman apostle. Now you might think this is all super holy, but let's be real. Where there's people, there's politics. Papal elections have never been drama-free. Back in the 13th century, one conclave dragged on for over 2 years because the Cardinals couldn't agree. Locals got so fed up they locked the Cardinals in a building, tore off the roof, and let them deal with the weather. Talk about motivation. Today's conclaves are smoother, but the scheming's still there. Cardinals hold secret meetups before the conclave, feeling out who's got support. Some countries even try to pull strings through their cardinals. The Vatican's got zero chill for leaks, though. Get caught and you're excommunicated faster than you can say holy water. Oh, and here's a crazy one. The shortest conclave ever took just a few hours, but the longest? 3 years. Plus, any cardinal can technically become pope, even a total dark horse. So, some random cardinal could go from zero to hero overnight. All right, who's going to be the next pope? No one knows, but let's have some fun guessing. A few names are floating around. There's Matteo Zuppi from Italy, a chill guy known for social justice vibes. Then there's Luis Tagle from the Philippines, young, charismatic, and a big deal in Asia. Some folks are even rooting for an African pope, like Peter Okpaleke from Nigeria, since Africa's Catholic population is booming. Whoever it is, they've got a tough gig ahead. Climate change, church reforms, old scandals, and staying relevant in a secular world. It's a lot. The new pope's going to need some serious game. And here's a mind blower. The Catholic Church has over 1.3 billion followers, 1/6 of the planet. The Pope's not just a spiritual leader, he's a global influencer. When Francis pushed for climate action, some countries actually changed their policies. That's next-level clout. And that's a wrap, folks. From the Sede Vacante to the white smoke, the papal election is a wild mix of faith, power, and history. The 2025 conclave could crown a game-changing pope and maybe even shift the church's path. So who do you think it'll be? A reformer like Francis? A traditionalist? Drop your predictions in the comments. Thanks for watching, you legends. If you love this, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. This is Troy. See you next time.